Hello guys, I'm back, and today we're talking about again Fate Remnant Collide. So, let's begin, shall we? So, as we last left off, we currently see Glunda taking away Alistair as she would say this. Hmm, how would I call you Rex? Rex Goodwitch, she would say, as she would basically poke the baby's face, or more specifically on the nose, as, you know, Mm, Rex, now I'm just gonna be calling him Rex now, as Rex would start laughing a little bit, as he would say, I guess I really do feel like a kid again. Hmm, he would say, as he would reminisce about his old life, how he was treated as nothing more than a tool for his family, more specifically, being used for the Holy Grail War, and being that his family is, let's just say, not really nice. Let me explain. His mother, more specifically, I'm just gonna be calling her Alyssa Ragnar, who is a part of the Ragnar family, a sort of like successor to the Einsburns, sort of. It's more like the Einsburns sort of got their secret stolen. Let's just say that. And as for the father, well, his name is it's completely unknown, but he was said to be named, or at least said to be, the current mage killer or mage, assassin. And because of it, and also because of, well, well, the Ragnar family's sort of, strict nature about, love and stuff, more specifically about marriage, well, let's just say it really didn't went well, especially after he was born. He was basically beaten to a pulp while his mother was basically there to watch it, and couldn't even help him. So after that, he would decide to leave and joining with a different mage family. Specifically, a family that's sort of also sort of stolen a bit from, the, let's just say stolen a bit from the Ragnar family. In this case, wait for a second, the Tempestia family, as he would teach him how to use magecraft effectively, and because of his father winning the last Holy Grail War, he was given his true magic. If you don't know in Fate, they're able to basically transfer true magic through their, through their, descendants. In this case, this specific magecraft was known as the eighth magic, or at least I'm just gonna be calling it that. In this case, it was known as Horn of Plenty, which, if you don't know, it's based off the Horn of Plenty from you know I guess sort of Christian mythology, or at least I think so, but I can also see it as Greek. But either way, it basically allows him to, and I quote, allows him to gain infinite amounts of mana just by eating. Yeah, it's pretty overpowered to say the least, and that is why he sort of won the Holy Grail War last time, or at least back in his old world. And it's sort of translated into this world as, aura, or at least, he doesn't know that yet. So yeah, after being brought to a large room, that is where Glinda usually stays at, she would decide to, put him on the bed as she would start telling the baby, or at least that's what she's sort of doing. I mean, she doesn't know that the baby actually knows what she's saying, but because of her basically, gesturing to it, sort of, she would basically say it in a baby voice. She would basically tell him to basically stay here for now, saying that she's gonna be busy with work, being a teacher and all. After that, she would leave. Wait for a second. So, after that, we currently see, well, Rex now currently inside of Glinda's room, empty, because she left. As after looking around, he would see a few books, as he would say, perfect, he would say to himself, as he would slowly start crawling towards the bookshelf. As after using a bit of his magecraft to sort of good success, I mean, there was a bit of noise, but nobody noticed. Sort of. Specifically, he decided to use a Gungnir shot, but not as powerful. But it did sort of cause a hole in the, in the, what's that called again? God dang it. The case. But thankfully, it won't be noticed. Hopefully. So, he would start reading something on the book. As somehow he's able to read it. A pretty useful skill, at least. And thank God he's able to read. As he would learn about the world. Apparently, the book that he was reading was a history book, and oh boy, that's a lot of knowledge to take in. Apparently, he's at a place called Remnant, basically similar to Earth, but except with a shattered moon for some odd reason. It was a big surprise to him, to say the least. Like, how the fuck didn't, the tides basically break? Or, the tides basically, are working right. As after, a bit of reading and learning about Grimm, which are apparently this world's equivalent to, sort of vampires or dead apostles, or at least I think. I'm still taking a bit of my fate knowledge into this. Anyway, after a bit of reading up, he would say to himself, "Oh, this is certainly interesting." He would say to himself, as wait for a second. After learning of it, he would decide to continue on reading, as he would read the entire book in a few hours. After, safely putting it back with the help of, I guess you'd say sort of telekinesis, or at least, the mage's equivalent to telekinesis. I never really thought of it all that much. But either way, he would start climbing back onto the bed as he would decide to get some sleep. After waking up, he would see his now mother, aka Glinda, basically changing her clothes. As she would say this, Oh, you're awake, Rex, she would say, as she would basically carry the baby, as she would start rocking him to sleep, as she would say, I think it's better for you to go to sleep for now. You need to be all, you need to be, resting for you to grow up big and strong, she would say. As, after saying that, he would decide to get some sleep once again because, that's his mother, and he doesn't want to anger her. And so, he would instantly fall asleep once again. So, the next day, as, a few things happen. He would basically do his routine thing, or at least sort of routine thing, where he basically goes onto the bookshelf as he would get books from that shelf. After getting several books and learning about this world's technology, including, well, dust, which apparently isn't actual dust, as in, the stuff that you would see under my bed. Anyway, continue on. It's basically like this elemental type crystal that is able to which is able to be turned into, well, dust, not dust, but dust, and also turn into, well, weaponry, and also turn into energy, which kind of intrigued him. It's kind of similar to the, to the Tosaka, to the Tosaka family's, magecraft, specifically gem magecraft, or at least in a natural sense, as he would also learn about semblances, which are apparently like this world's equivalent to magecraft, or at least sort of. I mean, it's more like a unique thing than anything else. As after a while of reading and also learning about aura, which he thinks is probably just like this world's equivalent to like magic circuits, or magecraft in fact. Like with the whole, armament thing, similar to like, what's that called? Reinforcement, I think it was called? I can't remember. And other stuff of that sort, he would decide to, try and learn a little bit about it. As he would decide after, a few years, he would maybe decide to become a huntsman. Mostly for his, well, intriguing mind, or at least his, sort of like magical mind, I guess you can say. You remember, scientific, magical, haha, joke. Either way, after that, he would basically continue on doing all of that until he was about, um, basically, I'm basically gonna do it like this. When, Crow first met him, he was about 3-ish, I guess, and now he's about, well, 5, and he's now 2 years after that, as he's currently learning how to talk with Glinda. I mean, in sort of broken, well, I can't really know what to call it. I don't know what is the actual name of the language that that Ruby uses. I'm just gonna call it English for now. But either way, wait for a second, guys. now he's about like, 5 years old, as he would talk to his mother while they were eating. Osmond would also be there, as Osmond was basically acting as like, sort of like his grandpa, I guess you could say, as he would say this, specifically, Rex. Hey, mom, she would say, he would say, as she would say this. Hmm, what is it, Rex? She would say, as he would say this. I want to be a huntsman, he would say. As after hearing that, Glinda was a bit surprised, but also, well, well, pretty much, thinking, well, it's pretty typical for kids to want to become a huntsman, especially these days, she would say. As Osmond would say this. Really? Then if you want to become a huntsman, you need to go to a huntsman academy first. Hmm, actually, I do have one huntsman academy in particular that you can join, he would say. As, he would say this, specifically Rex. Really? Which huntsman academy, he would say. As he would say this. Well, there's this huntsman academy known as Signal. It's actually being run by the man that actually saved you from your, you know, as he already knows about the village, but he doesn't really care all that much. He just pretends to be like, they're like, oh, I'm sad and shit. But, he didn't really have a connection there at all. So, yeah, as he would say this. Wait, really? Um, I can definitely go there, he would say. As he would say this. Very well then. I'll probably tell some of the teachers, including the principal there, that you can join. I can also let Glinda. Actually, Glinda, he would say. As she would say this. Yes, Professor. Not Professor, I meant, Osmond, he would say. I meant she would say. As she would say this. I meant he. Sorry about that. As he would say this. Are you willing to teach him how to use, weapons, perhaps? I mean, you are her mother. I meant his mother, he would say. As she would say this. Well, I would be happy to. Right? She would say. As he would say this, specifically Rex. Yeah. I mean, you are my mother, and you're a professional huntsman as well, so. As she would say this. Okay then. But we need to get the right papers for this. As after saying that, she would start leaving. As, pretty much, Rex is pretty much happy knowing this. Because he absolutely wanted to become a huntsman for a while now. Mostly out of curiosity and also learning about this new world that he's in. And even become a bit stronger. As he's currently looking at his hand and also his body, as he would say this. Hey, Osmond, he would say. As Osmond would say this. Oh, what is it, Rex, he would say. As he would say this. You said I was special, right? Then why am I special exactly? He would say. As he would say this. Well, I sense something interesting about you, kid. And I'll help you with that. I'll help you with everything, especially with your powers. Or at least, your aura, he would say. As, after hearing that, the whole powers part, he would think, yeah, he definitely knows about my magecraft, he would say. But it doesn't really matter in his mind. As he would say this. Well then, I'm going to be telling the principal of Signal to basically allow you to get in. With my talents and also my influence, he'll probably let you in either way, he would say. As he would say this. Thank you, Osmond, he would say. As he would say this. Okay, see you again, he would say. As he would start leaving. As after leaving, he would start continuing on eating. So, after that, he would start going around the school with, with Glinda, basically hand in hand. As, because it's sort of like, I guess you could say it's sort of like, bring your wait for a second. Bring your kids to work day. It's sort of like that. Except it's only just, him. Because apparently, because he's still a child, and because, she doesn't really have anybody to basically look after him, sort of. And what do I mean by sort of? Well, Osmond, but still, she decided to bring him towards, bring him into her work, specifically as a teacher. And oh boy, it's definitely going to be interesting. So yeah, this is where I'm going to be ending off this episode. So yeah, bye bye.